Welcome, low ego action heroes and phoenixes, to episode 268 here on the dcx Hive. Please excuse me, I'm struggling with spring allergies today. I have a fan blowing on me. If the sound of the fan is bothering you, please let me know and I can turn it off. So, I will sniffle through this today, but welcome. We're going to be talking today about the huge surge in fake recruiters on LinkedIn. And you would think that LinkedIn has enough AI and automations to knock these out, but yet we are all getting posts and shares and comments and private messages from sometimes multiple fake accounts each day. About a month ago, I wrote an article on how to recognize these accounts, at least as of April 2025, unless they change their game. Excuse me for all the sniffling. Let me know if the sound of the fan is bothering you. So we're going to read through my article and we're going to take a look at how we can make sure we are identifying and recognizing fake accounts, because we want to make sure that we don't fall for their scams. Ultimately, no one is doing anything out of the goodness of their hearts. These people are here to scam us in one way or another. And Ana Lucia says they don't care. Bots contribute to North Star metrics. Yes, I've said the same thing about Facebook, so that is quite possible. So with that being said, if you are interested in my article, you can find it on Medium without a paywall, and it is called Identifying Fake LinkedIn Recruiter Accounts. So let's read through this, and as I go, leave your questions and comments, and we'll take a look at those. Today, we'll look at the many ways you can easily tell a fake LinkedIn account, especially recruiters who want to help you with your resume, CV, or job search. One of these markers alone doesn't mean someone is a fake account, but if you see more than one of these, there's a very good chance the person behind this account isn't who they claim to be. And there are people behind these accounts. I don't think these are 100% robots. I can tell by the way they fight or surrender that these are real people disappointed that I'm not going to fall for their scam. Why does this matter? What harm could this cause? Fake LinkedIn accounts aren't there for fun. They are scams waiting to happen. They prey on people between jobs, especially those with the green open to work banner, in the hopes that you're desperate. They hope you will respond to them and eventually be tricked into saying yes to their scam. So what kinds of scams might these be? Well, one or more of the following. Identity scams. They're after your personal info, government IDs, a copy of your passport, social security or government ID number, etc. Is your home address on your resume or CV? They might want that information. 2. Financial scams. They're after your bank account info, or they need you to buy something from a particular website, send gift cards. They'll send money and you'll need to send some portion of it back or to someone else. Please pay for this training or equipment. 3. Account takeover scams. They might say that you need to improve your website, portfolio, LinkedIn account, or something else, and they need to access that account. They need to optimize your account. Well, now they have your account. Kiss it goodbye. 4. Services that are bad or not rendered. They might sell a resume or CV improvement service. They might sell training, mentoring, or career coaching. They might say that if you pay them, they can get you a job or a visa to another country. These might never be delivered, or they might be crappy, like a bad update to your resume. If it's a scam, there's no reason to give you something good or anything at all for your money. Just after publishing this, another scammer messaged me on LinkedIn claiming they're a resume writer, someone with supermodel looks in Japan with 3 connections who will surely fix my resume. And 5, fake job scams. Your experience is so impressive that you're offered a job with 0 or 1 interview. Or you do some WhatsApp interviews where you have no idea who you're chatting with. These typically lead to the other scams mentioned above. Remember that a scam doesn't have to take a lot of money from you. It might be $27 or 27 euros. A scam is a scam, and $27 can be worth the crime for many people, unfortunately. A Nigerian member of my online community once told me that $27 can feed a family of for a week or two, depending on how much meat you buy. Extra points if the scammer, from any country, wants to be paid in a way where it's hard for you to get your money back. Checks, money orders, bank transfers, crypto, or gift cards. Yes, Ana Lucia is a special guest in our article today, but as a positive example. So let's look at the common ways these accounts hint that they are fake. First of all, when was the profile created? The always fantastic Ana Lucia, who I'll probably pronounce your last name wrong. I would say Coimbra, but it's probably wrong. And she's a very real person I have met in real life. She reminded me that you can go to a profile, click the More menu, and then About This Profile. You'll see when it was created and when the photo was last changed. You might find it's fresh out of the oven and brand new. That doesn't necessarily mean it's fake, but it's a common hallmark. But as a positive example, you can see Ana Lucia's profile was created over 10 years ago, and she's been working on it ever since. Check the profile's location. Many of the fake accounts seem to sign up from places that exist, but that we don't often think about, like American Samoa and the United States minor outlying islands. Many of us, sadly, can't even place Samoa on a map, and we don't even know what the outlying islands are. But yet suddenly there's a flood of recruiters claiming to live in these places. I've worked with many recruiters in my life, and 0 of them were in Samoa or living on a U.S. outlying island, which are 8 U.S. insular areas in the Pacific Ocean: Baker Island, Howland Island, Jarvis Island, Johnson Atoll, Kingman Reef, Midway Atoll, Palmyra Atoll, and Wake Island, and one in the Caribbean Sea, Navassa Island. Population 300 in total, and they're evidently all recruiters. Does Robert Half, Robert Walters, Aquint, Randstad, or any recruiter employ a mountain of people in these places, especially given return to office mandates at many companies? I can't think of a recruiter with an office on Howland Island. Check their followers and connections. Very often they have 0 or very few connections, or they've gone the complete other direction, paying for followers or connections and having like 15,000. You might think that 15,000 connections, or even some connections in common, means this person is legitimate, but don't let someone else being fooled fool you. These people hope that someone will be so excited to see a recruiter interested in them that they connect on LinkedIn, which allows this person to grow a fake network. In addition to commenting on your LinkedIn posts, they will repost them, thinking that you will be flattered by them amplifying your message. They hope that by giving you attention, you will connect with them or communicate with them. Check their education. These accounts typically show an American university for a bachelor's and possibly a master's, with usually very little or no detail. These are often large or famous American universities like Harvard or the University of Michigan. They hope you will immediately respect these degrees. Writing to you in non-American or poor English might not be a sign of anything, but you might expect better English from someone who went to American universities for at least 4 years and had to turn in endless assignments and papers in university-level English. Check their work experience. They usually only show one work experience, maybe 2. They usually claim to work for Robert Half, Kelly, or a recruiting company, usually a famous one. Their photos are often of people in their 50s or older, and yet they've only worked at one place, maybe 2, in a high layoffs, nobody stays at jobs long world. Unlikely. Check their recent posts and comments. It's usually an identical or nearly identical copied and pasted message to every single person. They rarely, if ever, have any posts that they've written themselves. Check their photo. Sometimes you will just get that vibe that this is an AI photo. Sure, people on LinkedIn are using AI photos, but there will be something that makes you wonder if anybody really has this face. There will be something about the composition, dead eyes, smooth skin, or pixelated skin. There will just be something not quite right. Trust your gut on this one. Check their name. Anybody from any country can have any name. It's always possible that this photo of a white 60-year-old recruiter could have any name on the planet. An African name, Middle Eastern name, Eastern European name. We can't make any assumptions, and we don't want to be racist or ethnocentrist. But I've been contacted by a strange number of LinkedIn accounts with photos of a 60-year-old white woman who have the first name of Thomas or William. I've been contacted by a strange number of LinkedIn accounts with photos of 60-year-old white women who have names that, based on some Googling, appear to be Cosa. These scams come from nearly every country. I'm certainly not singling out any particular country or region. Notice the call to action. The fake accounts always want you to connect with them, email them or someone they recommend, or go into a WhatsApp or Telegram chat. If you connect with them on LinkedIn, they often try to get you to contact them or someone they recommend outside of LinkedIn. Notice that these email addresses are never from the company where they claim to work. They're either a fake email address for that company. For example, nobody from Robert Half would email you from roberthalfemail.net, or they are Gmail addresses, which are increasingly used for scams and spammers. If you have a LinkedIn account like mine, where I've listed myself as offering services, I will often find a service request from these fake accounts. The service request is extremely vague, and it appears to exist solely to see if they can get the fish on the hook. Ana Lucia says, to add some more information about scammers, there are cities known for having scam, bot, and call centers. For example, I've discovered that Myanmar has a very famous city for those, Cambodia too. These centers force people to scam others, and that's why they get mad when you don't fall for their schemes. It's the only way for them to get paid. I'm not saying this to guilt trip you, not at all. It's nothing personal. They're not mad at you. They're mad for losing their time. And you'll see that that's just what I'm after. So my next image on the article is from someone named Brian Badmus, or however you might pronounce that. Brian has an E, which is a non-traditional spelling, but may not mean anything. And basically, they are trying to offer me some sort of job. Would I be open to a conversation to explore supporting me in my job search? And I said, I was just writing an article about fake LinkedIn accounts. Thanks for giving me some perfect screenshots to illustrate my points. And this person responded with thumbs up. In the above screenshot, a Brian Badmus uses a request my services feature on LinkedIn to message me. I responded that I'm currently writing an article on faked LinkedIn accounts, and these will be perfect screenshots for that article. You gotta love the thumbs up emoji response. So let's get to know Brian's account. Here you go. Brian, ethnically ambiguous person, looks around 60 years old, has some sort of phone number, claims they work for Robert Walters, went to Cornell, a very famous and prestigious American university, magically lives on a United States minor outlying island, and has zero connections. You'd almost think I planned this. Brian appears to be a man in his 50s in a dress shirt. Something a little weird about the face, but given the upside-down framed posters stacked behind him and not hung up, if the image is real, it's of someone who didn't want taking the photo to wait until they hung those up or even moved them out of the frame. Brian is a non-traditionally spelled first name, but that might not mean anything. My DuckDuckGo search says that Badmus is a surname from the Yoruba people of Nigeria. He lives on a U.S. minor outlying island, and he went to Cornell University. Here's a screenshot of his recent activity and his so-called experience. He supposedly has worked at two very famous recruiting companies, Robert Walters and Randstad. He has no followers or connections. That would take time and or cost money. But you'd imagine that someone who worked for two recruiting firms in the last 23 years made more than zero connections. Don't buy any excuse like their account was hacked and they had to make a new one, and magically you're the first person they want to connect with. He copies and pastes the same comments and private messages to everybody looking for the fish who will bite the hook. So we saw up here, it was person's name, kindly send me a connection request to discuss about your job search ASAP, kissy face emoji. The heart face emoji sure is a nice touch from a professional career recruiter. Don't be the fish on the hook. Any response to these people at all tells them that you might be someone that they can later scam or take advantage of. If you ignore them, they can't scam you. You're not a potential victim. If you write back to them and you write something encouraging like, yes, you are looking for a job or you want to know more, then they know they have a fish on the line. I'm replying to these people right now, which goes against my own advice, but I assume that these are humans behind these accounts, and the more I waste their time, the less they are scamming someone else. I'm writing back something like, no thanks, I'm not connecting with fake accounts. Most of these people will realize they do not have a potential victim on the hook, and they will stop writing. I also like to congratulate them on their atheism. Nobody would scam others if they imagined one or more gods watching and judging them now, or deciding how they will spend eternity. That tends to end a conversation quickly. In the screenshot below, Judith Nelson, 50-something-year-old white woman, responds, okay, after I tell her that I'm not working with fake accounts on my job search. Oh, blippy. Yeah, sorry that my stream is blippy. Our internet has been down for a week and a half and I'm on my hotspot, so thanks for your patience. Someone asked me how I know that these aren't real recruiters, and maybe I'm just pissing people off by telling them they're fake accounts. Sorry again that I'm blippy. I'll give it a moment. Can't write a comment, it's restarting the comment section. Sorry, it looks like it stopped being blippy. Sorry about that. I can't help it. I am on my backup internet until they fix our internet, which unfortunately has been broken for a week already. As I was saying, someone asked me how I know that these accounts aren't real recruiters and how I know I'm not just pissing people off by telling them they're a fake account. I'm quite confident that these are fake accounts. I also know that if someone said, I don't want to read your book because you're a fake account, if the conversation were important to me, I would work to convince them I'm not a fake account. If I'm a scammer and someone figures me out, oop, I'm blipping. Let me wait a moment for that to pass. Sorry, everybody. Thanks for your patience. I sure hope they get our internet working again. So as I was saying, if I'm a scammer and someone figures me out, I should spend zero more time on that person. I would say, okay, or nothing, and go find a real fish on a hook. Here's a conversation in comments between a Michael Kelly, 50-something-year-old white guy, and me. And it's the middle of the conversation. So this person says, Debbie Levitt, who told you it a fake account? Meaning his account. And I said, you did in so many ways. Move on to someone you can fool. That won't be me. He says, you sound like a heartbroken lady. Really? And then when I respond to that, the person responded from a totally different account. So in the above comments on one of my posts, Michael Scott, a Harvard graduate and recruiter, wants to know how I know they're a fake account. Answering that will give them information I don't want them to have, so I reminded them that they told me that, and they should move on to someone they can fool. Then they told me I sounded like a broken-hearted lady. Though it's possible, a professional recruiter is unlikely to say that to you in private or in public LinkedIn comments. I wrote back to them, mostly to waste their time. They responded from a different fake account. These people probably log into so many accounts all day that they can't remember who they're pretending to be during any conversation. They don't all fit that model. I got a weird scammy message on LinkedIn. In short, they needed me to become a licensed insurance agent in one or more states for a manager job. I assume I pay them for this training, and that would be one likely scam. I woke up today to find the account gone. Others must have reported it. It had 300 followers or connections. It was started in 2020, and it didn't seem to always post the same thing. I assume they hacked a real account and took it over. That would give it some realistic connections and posts that aren't just telling people they can find you a job. Be careful. If it seems weird, like someone contacting a CX or UX specialist suggesting they should become a licensed insurance agent to qualify for a manager job, listen to your gut. It's probably a scam. Can you report these to LinkedIn? You shouldn't have to. The playbook is so obvious that LinkedIn should block these from being created, or as soon as they start commenting and messaging using the pattern. I remember when YouTube videos were flooded with porn spam comments. It continued for months until YouTube finally turned their tech and AI on comments and started blocking those. Now you see very few, if any. It can be done. LinkedIn isn't doing this, at least not of when I'm writing this in April 2025. There is a way to report these accounts, but LinkedIn is not doing very much about them. Engagement and potential scams can be good for site engagement and bump the numbers when we don't care about the quality or legality of that engagement. So why stop these? I also noticed that the more I reported these accounts, the fewer people were shown my LinkedIn posts. I don't think that's an accident. I think LinkedIn does not want me to report these accounts or block these people. These accounts are created at an alarmingly fast rate. By the time you've reported one, they've probably created 100 more, which means that the best defense is to not engage with them. Ignore them. They're easy to spot now, but expect them to refine and improve the scam over time. Don't assume these will always be so obvious. They're easy to spot while these people put in low effort to find the people who are most easily scammed and or the most desperate. If they start trying harder, or AI makes good fakes easier to create, you could be fooled. It's designed for you to be fooled. LinkedIn should keep you safe, but they can't seem to care. I guess that keeping us safe and free from scams isn't a priority. Don't reply to them. Don't engage with them. Don't ask them questions, write to their email addresses, or join them in a WhatsApp chat. These are too likely to be scams waiting to happen. Yes, we all want jobs, and we wish recruiters were writing to us to proactively offer help. But we must keep our critical thinking hats on and be suspicious of these, especially when you start noticing a pattern. Don't forget to join our community. Our Life After Tech and coaching and our Low Ego Action Heroes and Phoenix community are available at dcx.to. Sorry about today's blipping. I'll upload the recorded one after this is done so that the YouTube archived one can be the clear recording made on my hard drive and not the unfortunately blippy live streamed version. But please, we've got lots of great upcoming events. Check them out at dcx.to/events. I'm going to assume there are no questions because the stream's probably died. So I'll make sure that I upload this soon. And I don't know if I'll hold and ask me anything tomorrow since my blipping has been so bad. But thanks to everybody for joining us for episode 268. Leave us a thumbs up and some comments to help us in the YouTube algorithm. And good luck avoiding the fake recruiters on LinkedIn. Thanks.